yeah, this video, I want to basically go over what I'm going to be doing for this week. This week, I'm going to be recording every single setup. I have a student, basically, she's been struggling with, like, she doesn't have the confidence to get a funded account. She's been learning for a while, but she just doesn't feel like she's confident. She needs to know everything. And I was basically explaining, when we're back testing, we're able to see the candles. We can move the candlesticks forward whenever we choose. But when it comes down to actually trading, these candlesticks are moving whether you like it or not. You got to make quick decisions. And, she just didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't want to force myself. So I basically said, you know what, I'm going to record all the trades that I take. And yeah, here we are. So this is going to be the outlook for the week. As you can see, I have this evaluation account. This evaluation account is at 49,356. It was lower than that because we made 650 today. But I have a funded account. I only have like $1,000 worth of drawdown left. Wasn't doing my best, just really crashing out. And then I have another funded account. I have around like 1,300 worth of drawdown left. Basically, I went up in profit, then I came back down, just tweaking. So this week, we're going to get our get back, and this is going to be the way that we get our get back. I'm going to be looking for certain setups and certain setups only. I'm not looking for a monetary gain this week. I'm looking for a did you follow your rules game. Like, if you lose and you end up blowing these accounts, but you followed your rules, you took trades that have higher probabilities of winning than some random stuff, then I can live with that. But if I'm going to be losing just doing a bunch of dumb stuff, like the stuff that I was doing last week, you're going to see how it's vastly different than how I'm going to be planning to do for this week. So let's get into the setups that we're going to be taking. So what are we looking at right now? Yes, we are on top step. Yes, I did flex that 659, but that's not what you need to care about. So right now, this is basically how the volume profile looks. So the volume profile, and this is an order flow stuff. If you're ICT, goodbye. But the volume profile. So we have our value area high. We're going to have our point of control. We're going to have our value area low. Now we're going to have candles inside of this. I just wanted to show you all like the overall picture of it. Now, but when it comes down to it, I'm not going to be taking any trades inside of value. And that's how I did a lot of losing last week. All the trades that I took inside of value ended up being losers. I had some that was, break even. I had a bunch that was break even. They weren't bad trades, but the thing is, you have a lower probability of winning if you're going to be taking trades inside of value. So I'm not going to be taking any trades inside of value this week. The trade I took today was not the trade I took today was outside of value, and you can see, definitely did good on that. It took a while, but we did good on that. So this is how the volume profile looks. You're going to see, you're going to have volume. It's going to look just like this. It could be big waves, small waves, it could be all type of waves. But again, we're not going to be taking trades inside of value. So all these little waves, I do not care anything about. But once we get outside of this value, let me move this up just a little bit and move this down just a little bit. Once we get outside of value, that's where I'm going to be looking for the volume profile to get thin. So you see how basically like all this is like really just the volume profile. But when it comes down to it, sometimes there are gaps inside of it, just like that, and then you'll continue to have like your volume profile. When it comes down to those gaps, those are going to be our low volume nodes. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up zones so that I'm able to take trades. I'm going to be looking for a bunch of break and retest. So for example, for today, basically the market literally pushed out a value and it came back into one of our low volume nodes, and I'm going to be looking to take a trade. Now, what type of setups am I looking for? Yes, break and retest. But when it comes down to the break and retest, I'm going to be looking for the market to push back into these low volume nodes, that little small gap inside of the profile, show me that the buyers don't want to push up anymore. And then once I see that I have a candlestick that I like to enter on, or I have a candle that was simply absorption when it comes down to the order flow, that's when I'm going to take my trade. And I'm basically going to take my trade to the next zone because I have a bunch of zones on my screen, and that's basically what I did today. I seen that the market literally today wasn't a break and retest, but I was outside of value. I took that sell and I basically took it to the next zone. I could have got back in right here if I wanted to be a little bit more patient, but I didn't do that. Luckily, I was able to obtain a 1 to 6 with a small stop loss. So the same thing for the buys. Simply, we're just going to wait for the market to break outside of value. We're going to wait for the volume profile to get thin, then start to gap up a little bit. Then once we see that we have that small thin profile, that's when we're going to mark our area, and we're going to look for a break and retest or a break of some type. And basically we're going to wait for the market to test that zone, show absorption, show that it doesn't want to go back inside of value, and we're going to look for it to push higher to one of our zones. So that's that. Now another thing that we're going to do is, and this one right here, this is bread and butter. This is what it comes down to. That's literally like what we're looking for. So we're looking for a breakthrough retest outside of value. Now this is an extra confluence. Now you can see this point of control, I do not like trading there. So I should have made that red, but I don't like trading at point of controls. So basically this one looks a little bit different. You can see this point of control is pretty high, this point of control is pretty low, and the value area high, value area low, basically the same. You know, when it comes down to it, they're kind of always moving all the time. I'm not even gonna lie. When it came down to the sales that I took today, the value area low, it kept going. Like it was lower, 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 lower. It just kept dropping, and that's basically means that price is getting accepted. Those lower prices are getting accepted, so you can continue to hold your trade. The thing about today is it was getting lower, but as it was getting lower, the market kept pushing higher, like basically putting me inside of value. So I was really skeptical on closing my trade, but I continued to hold because at the end of the day, you know, the value area low is getting lower, but why is the market getting lower as well? So price is still getting accepted. So I basically just put my stop loss to break even, and that's how I was able to capitalize. But for example, and this is how the profile had looked today. So the profile was like this. Ooh, I'm sleepy. Boom, 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 and then it literally started getting really wide right here. Now, it almost looks like a face, but this is what happened. So this is like an extra confluence. Whenever we have the volume profile, and I'm not going to go too in detail to this because it's maybe like a separate video, but whenever you see that you have the point of control being high, majority of the volume being high as well, and this is when I use the fib. This is the only time I've used a fib in the last I don't know how long, but basically I'll use the fib from the value area low to the value area high, and if I see majority of the volume closed above here when it comes down to the candlesticks starting the next day, then basically I will have a buying bias. Okay, now today I had a buying bias, but the market was literally just like showing, like we had this big rejection to the upside and the market was just going lower. So I wasn't quick to take a sell, but once I seen that we broke outside of value and the value area low just kept pushing lower and lower and lower and lower, I was like, you know what, okay, it's okay to take sells. So when it comes down to it, these are going to be the types of setups I'm going to be taking. I'm going to be looking for low volume or high volume nodes that are broken outside of value, and I'm going to look to take those trades to the zone. So yeah, I have to get back on the market. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not doing the best on my fundits, but all it takes is one trade. To be honest, it just takes one trade. This was a $600 trade that I did, and basically that's like almost all my drawdown. So if I just capitalize on that, we're gonna be good. I just gotta be patient, and I just gotta wait for my setups at the end of the day. Whenever you draw these pathfinder lines, basically you're coloring inside the zones. These candlesticks need to basically be formed inside of the lines, and you just follow the lines. It's that simple. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this week. I hope this video was informative. It wasn't really too much learning. This is really just for me and for one of my students. So if you are one of my students, you know, keep your head up. It's all about repetition. Just keep going. I have my struggles too. No one's perfect. But that being said, man, I will see you all in the next video. I'm going to be recording I'm gonna try my best to record all my trades and give you all some commentary above it as well. So talk to you all later.